we will be learning the CSS part. What is CSS, why CSS, how we link it with HTML, what are selectors, element selectors, how we use inline CSS, and then again a practice session where you will be creating a small one-page thing with linking the HTML so that it is presentable. In the third session, I will be teaching you live how we can create a website like Apple. I hope everyone has visited Apple website where you can shop iPhone, iMac, everything. So we will be developing a website like that so that you can have a project out of it. Then obviously, if you want to show it to the world, like what I have done, what I've created, you need to deploy it. Creating on your laptop is different thing, but showing it to the world is a different thing. So main important thing in today's time is to show people. Everyone has knowledge, everyone knows what CSS, everyone know how to build a website, everyone know how to build a mobile app. But until and unless you are going to show the world is not accepting your knowledge anymore until the time from the time AI has come, right? So if you need a good job in this uh, domain, in IT domain, in this development part, you will need to learn this deployment thing where you can show the world what you do, what how you do, how creative you can be, how good your logical senses is. And this is how the fourth session is important. In the fifth session, I will be reviewing your project, one project which you have to pick up. I will assign you a project after the session 2, what all you can build. From after the session 2 or from the session 3, we will have a gap of 1.5 week till the session 5 comes. So till then, I would expect you to create a project which me and Arun sir both will review, and accordingly your internship will be over and you will have a live project ready with you so that you can present it to the world or uh, show it to your classmates and teachers and brag about it, right? So it will be a nice project. It will be a nice 5 session workshop. So any doubt in this workshop which you want to add on or which you are interested in asking, anything on the curriculum part which you have not understood? Say yes or no, everyone.
So
Did
we
you
will
understood
already
all the
learn
process?
HTML and CSS.
Right, right. We are going to learn the
Yes,
HTML
yes.
and CSS.
Excuse me.
So since most of you are from classes 9 to 12th, I hope HTML, CSS, most of you have been learning in your schools as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, right. So similarly, we will be practicing here as well in some with some live projects as well. So let me show you the projects as well. So like this is the Apple website which we are going to be making in the third session. Cool, all the like cloning Apple website. It will be amazing and you will be loving to do this. Next, so let's get back to our first session. So these are the pointers which we will be learning today, like I've explained you in my curriculum part only. So let's understand what is web development, right? So anything which you see on website on your Google Chrome browser is a website, right? It consists of basically four parts: front end, which the user is seeing; back end, the logic part, which the user doesn't see but is happening somewhere in the servers or in the cloud; database, where all your data is being stored and secured by other measures; and we have servers from which the front end, back end, and database interact, right? So let's take an example. So suppose I write google.com. Whatever you are seeing here, whatever the user is seeing, is the front end part. Like Google should be written like this, the search bar should be here. When I click on it, it should show a drop down, the Google search, the I'm feeling lucky, these buttons, how they are aligned, how they will work is all about front end. Okay. The backend part is if I write anything, like I write Pinterest, these results, where it came from, I didn't code them. It came from the server, from the backend logic. So somewhere we have written a piece of code, like if the user will try Pinterest, whatever we have related to Pinterest in our database, it will be fetched and it will be thrown to the front end user so that he can see and he can interact with that data, right? So front end is consist of many, like now we have many tech stack which from which we can do front end, but basically nowadays we are using these six of them. First is the HTML, that is the basic for all the front end developers. HTML is must. CSS is for styling. JavaScript is for functioning. For suppose if I like, we will get to it in next thing. Angular is again a framework of JavaScript. So JavaScript have developed different frameworks. So we have Angular, we have React, we have Vue.js. So it's all about you. How do you want to, like, which tech stack you are comfortable in and which tech stack you understand it clearly. According to that tech stack, and you can build your career out of it. Next, we have the backend part where all the processing, suppose I write 2 plus 2. So user has written 2 plus 2, he's seeing, but where is this calculation happening? It is happening at the backend. Backend is somewhere which is stored in the cloud. We all have learned about AWS, Google Cloud. So cloud is currently the main aspect of web development nowadays, because everything we want to access it anywhere. We want it to accessible throughout the world. Like if I'm writing a code and I've deployed it, I want the person sitting in the USA also to access that thing. So we deploy these backend logics and these coding stuff in the cloud so that anywhere, anyone in the world can access it. So this calculation 2 plus 2 can be accessible from anywhere, but the condition is the logic should be written in these tech stack, whether it can be Java, it can be C Sharp, it can be .NET, it can be Node.js, which is very hyped these days. The Mern stack, which I do every day. Like Mern stack stand for MongoDB, which is the database. Express, that is the backend. React, that is the front end, and Express, that is again a backend. You can say framework, but these
समझ में
four.
आया फ्रंट एंड बैक एंड पता नहीं क्या है ऐसे।
Okay, okay.
अरे
So
सर के एक दोस्त है उनमें उनके बच्चों के लिए वो रखवाई है एक, तो आपको लेके
okay.
दिखाया, वो सिखा रहा है कलर
So
क्या होता
please,
है।
everyone, I would request you to mute yourself.
वो वो उसमें है ना।
Uh, Raghav, I would request you to mute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Please mute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Mute, mute. Please mute yourself. If you have question, please do come. But otherwise, please, I would request you to mute yourself. Okay, so where were we? We were understanding the components of web development. Then we have database, as I've told you, all your data, your profile picture, your name, your email ID, everything is stored in the database. So we have structured database like SQL, MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle, which communicate with backend, which we set a integration between the backend and the database, so that all the data which the user want can be accessible from the database only. Next, we have again a server, which is a backend part where all the interaction happens. So next we have the development process. What is a development process? Like it has to be a flow, right? Like I can't just start coding, I can just start deploying it. So there is a process which is divided into 6 parts. First is the requirement analysis. So suppose you want to build a google.com, right? So what are your requirements? Your requirements are the user should be able to input their requirements. Like if a user type where is Indonesia, it is a requirement that user should be allowed to input anything. and then the result is also a requirement, that the result in result he wants all the links related to Indonesia. Then we have the concept development. The concept development also happens within the team of the technical team. Like, okay, we can do this functionality, we can add this functionality, we can redirect a page from here to here. Then we have a prototype designing. We have not yet started coding. This is the prototype designing, where the UX UI part, where the designing part come, which you have learned in the previous workshop. So you will design what the client wants or what you want, like how it should look. The logo should come here. The input should come here. If I write Indonesia, how the map will, where the map will come, where the images will come, where the links will come. This is all a prototyping part. This is all a part of designing phase 3. Then we come to the design, and then we come to the coding part. Then we will start writing them down into HTML and CSS code. Then obviously the testing part. Once you have completed your development, once you have written all your code, it's time to give some real user to test it. Before opening it to the whole world, I would like to give it to the real user, so that they can test, and if any bug or any left and anything arises, we can fix it, and then we can release it to the real world. Then comes the final step, that is the deployment and go live. So after this, it is accessible to the whole world, and everyone can access your google.com, which you have designed and which you have coded and tested as well. Okay, so these are the 6 stage which covers a development process. So first you gather the requirement, then you develop the concepts, like the function, the logical part, then you design a prototype, then you start coding, and then you go to the testing phase, which you have coded. At least you should test it once before showing it to the world. Then we go to deployment, and then it's available to each and everyone. So this is a basic flow of the front end back end server integration which we saw. So user is seeing a front end part. He will type 2 plus 2 here. So he will type 2 plus 2 here. This will go to the backend. Backend will calculate it as 4. Now, the main thing is this, since it's a backend logic, since we just wanted 2 plus 2, it's a basic calculation. So only backend can handle it. We are not sending any information related to database like this. If this complete logic must have been stored in the database. Okay. So I've written 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So backend will search, go to like this data, 2 plus 2 will go to the backend. Backend will go to the database and find what is the value of 2 plus 2. It is 4. Then it will send the 4 to the backend, and then this 4 will be thrown to the front end. Then the user will be able to see, okay, so my calculation 2 plus 2 came out to be result with a 4. So this is a complete integration of front end, back end, and database. What user is seeing, what back end is enacting to, what database is consisting of. If suppose I go to google.com, right? How the Google know that I am accessing here? Like, this is my email, this is my name, this is my profile picture. Where all this information is coming from? It is coming from the database, which I have filled in the sign up form. Like, this is my image, this is my email ID. I have provided this information to the Google, that please save my these information, and whenever I require it, you will provide me this by this format. Okay. So this is the database part. Like, database is helping you to store your information securely, so that it is not accessible to the whole world, but the person who is requesting to access it is an authenticated person. Until and unless I will write my password correctly, this information will not be shown to me, right? So it's the process of the database. Then we come to the next part. So we have understood what is web development, what is the flow of website, what are the components of website. Components of website. Okay, so components of website. So these three are the basic and main component of developing a website. Any website you see, or like every website will consist of these three technologies, which are HTML, CSS, JavaScript. The base, like like in maths we learned addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Same way, we these are the board mass of this is the board mass of our web development: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Without this, web development is incomplete. Okay, so in these 5 lessons, we will be understanding what is HTML and CSS. Today is the matter of HTML, so we will be learning few things about HTML since you all have been learning it in your school as well. Just like a more depth thing to the HTML, we will be learning in this thing. So what is HTML? Basically, it's a hypertext markup language. Everyone knows this. Uh, Suppose you enter a house, you enter your house only. You see your living room is here. Okay, so where is the sofa is placed? Where is the TV placed? Where is your plants placed? Where is the scenery you have hang on the wall is placed? So this placing of elements, this placing of components is the part of HTML. So suppose if I go to apple.com, okay, I want, so Apple has placed their logo here. They have placed the nav bar here. They have placed the image here. Then we have the heading Apple Worldwide Developer Conference. So these placing of objects, placing of these content is all come under HTML part. If I remove the CSS from it, right? So I'll go to this. Where is the CSS part? If I go to the, okay, this is some okay, so if I remove the CSS part, you won't be seeing, suppose okay, we will learn this in the next upcoming classes. So the placing of objects we have understood, the logo is coming here, how we are placing it, it's all come under HTML part. Okay, then comes the CSS part, how you want it to be displayed, right? So this logo is of white color. It can be of red, it can be of green, but it's all part of the designing how this logo should be, whether it should be red, green, black. It's all in the hand of CSS, how you design it. It should be this small, it should be this large. It's all CSS part. Both are same logo, but it's just the part of CSS which is making them different. It is just a white plain logo. It's a colorful with a mixture of gradient colors and a quite bigger size. It's the all part of CSS. Then we comes with the JS part, the JavaScript part. JavaScript basically handles your functionality part. If I click on the learn more, what will happen? It will redirect me to the next page, right? Then all the information will come from the backend. It's all the part of JavaScript. Whatever you are, like if I go on to here and if I search Indonesia and I click on Google search, it is happening because of JavaScript, because JavaScript is sending this Indonesia keyword to your backend, which will process all this information, gather the data from the database, and will render it on the front end part to the user. So this rendering and this functionality part is all handled by JavaScript. Okay, so we have understood what is HTML, what is CSS, what is JavaScript. So next, I would like you all to, so let's come to some real world applications. Okay. First, I would like you to see this thing. So we have a developer in our community that is, let me show you from the start. Prateek Narang. So he works at google.com. Okay. He's a web developer over here. He has designed this website to showcase his work. That's why, like I told you in the beginning, until and unless you show the work to the world is not going to accept your just your knowledge. They want the proof. They want to see how creative you can be, what all you can do, so that they can hire you for this in this IT sector. Okay. So see how beautifully Pratik Narang has made his portfolio. So he has written his name, he has made a character of himself. He has told you like he came from the Punjab Jalandhar part. He has gone to Swami Sant Das public school. So it's all a part of HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Nothing apart from these three technology has been used in this project. That is apart from these three technology: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. These three, if you master these three skills, you can make a website like this and you can brag about it all the time and you can show it to the world that I am capable of doing all these stuff, right? So this is all web development is. So I would like to ask all of you, what is your favorite website? Just start typing in the chat box like, this is my favorite website, I like to surf here a lot, and I want you guys to be interactive as well. So just start typing like, this is my favorite website. Chess.com, okay. Chess.com, Pinterest, Crazy Games, Roblox.com. Right, correct. So these websites are built on these three technology only: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Frameworks we use, right? React we use Vue.js, we use AngularJS, but the baseline of it is just JS, JavaScript. YouTube.com, right? All these websites are built on these three tech stack only: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You master these three skills, you will be the master of web development. Okay. So to start with the HTML, I would all like you to download a code editor, that is the Visual Studio Code. We can do this in the normal notepad as well, but since we are progressing, since we want you to be in industry level ready for, at least for the HTML CSS part, I would like you all to use this tool, which is used by every person who is in the industry, who is developing code like this, who is developing websites like google.com, youtube.com. Everything is built with this tool. So I would like you all
Excuse
to
me, sir.
download it. Yeah, sure. Hello.
Is it possible to, is it okay if I use REPL for?
Sure. REPL also you can use. No worries in that. You
Thank
can
you.
use any online editor as well if it's not accessible to you, like if VS Studio Code is not. But in the future, if you want to proceed in this line, you will need to learn this Visual Studio Code as well. It's the best tool and everyone use this. So whoever wants to use Replit, so sure I will use, I can show what Replit is. So Replit is an online platform where you can search on the Google Replit. You sign up for free. So it will take you to the sign up form. So you see how interactive it is. I click on the sign up process, this screen came over. It's all a part of the C tech stack only. So I'll go to the Google part. So it is authenticating me. How it is authenticating? Because of my JavaScript functionality. Like if I click on this button, JavaScript will perform a piece of code to make me authenticate to this platform, and it is authenticating me, and it will gather my information from the database. It will interact with Google. Google will bring my information from the database, and then it will tell me, okay, you are a Kulvashne, you are logged in with this ID, and different thing. But those who want to use Replit, they can use Replit. But others who want to learn something new, I would request you to please download VS Studio Code and install it. Okay, you will need to install it. I will provide the link in the chat box as well. So you can just, no, not to just, but to all. Okay, so this is the link, so you can access it from here. You need to download it, install it. I hope everyone knows how to install a application at least. So you will download it, install it, and then what you will open up is to, I'll open a new window. Okay, so once you are done with the installing and once you are done with the installation part, you will open your application, and this is what you will see on the first screen. It's an empty blank space. First and foremost thing which you will do is go to the extension part. Right here is the extension part. You will type here live server. Nothing, just go to the extension part, go to the live server, click on the one which is developed by Ritvik Day. It has 49 millions downloads something, so this you have to download. Okay, you will have a like have a button like here, install, and after installing I would ask you all to at least restart this whole thing, like restart the your VS Code. Okay, so now we have restarted our thing, and we get this option of go live here. On the bottom right corner you can see this go live. This is important, this we need to see. If you are not seeing this, then you will need to go back to the extension, type live server, and reinstall it. And don't forget, if you still don't see go live, please close your application and restart it. Okay, so once you have downloaded it, you have reached to this part, the live server part. Now we will go and we will open a new folder. Okay, so we will click on open folder. We will create a new folder here called HTML workshop. We will click on create and we will open this. Okay, so again, now you can see on the left side part, I can see a folder name HTML workshop. So this means I'm into this folder which I've created, HTML workshop. Now I will create a file index.html. Why index.html? Why not anything else? Why I can't? I could have written anything. I could have written home.html. I could have written home2.html. But why I chose the keyword index.html? See, when you interact, when in the future, if you pursue this part, you will be interacting with backend as well, and backend needs a starting point. Like, this is my starting point. So for me it can be index for HTML, for some other person it can be home.html, for the third person it can be home2.html. So backend needs one thing only, he needs your like home page, right? So instead of keeping different name for different application, index.html we have standardized it. So whenever backend will come, he will search for index.html. If you have written home.html, then you will need to specify to your backend that instead of searching for index, you have to search for home.html. Okay, so index.html is a starting point of any HTML video, any HTML or any project. Any project you pick up, HTML, index.html is your first file which you should create. Okay, .html, like what is .html? So like we create a word file, it ends up with the extension called .doc. We create a excel file. How it ends? It ends with .xls file, right? So similarly we end this file with .html, so that the server or the Chrome browser can understand that yes, it is a HTML file and I have to open it with this pre-written code which has already been coded in the Chrome browser or Brave browser or anywhere. Okay, so index.html should be your first file. Now, why I told you to use VS Code? If I write exclamation mark, you see, I automatically got these two options with a like a gear part, and it says emit abbreviation, right? So if I click on enter, it will automatically give me the starting, like how HTML should work, how HTML should be written from the starting. These 11 lines are compulsory for every HTML page to have, because without this, browser will not know it is a HTML file. Okay, so it is, we call these 11 line as boilerplate code. Okay, so it is a first step which every HTML should have. For Replit, I'm not sure how you are going to use this, but for VS Code, it's easy for every developer to just use exclamation mark, enter, and you will see all these pre-written code to be automatically coming here, right? Now, what are these tags which we are seeing here? The first line, let's come to the first line. It says exclamation doc type HTML, which means this document type is of HTML type. So whenever the Chrome browser will run this piece of code, he will he will be also reading this one by one. He will read the first line. He will see, oh, it's a doc type of HTML. Okay, so I have to run this file according to how HTML used to be, like, is written to be run. So this first line signifies that so every browser can know how this file needs to be opened or needs to be compiled. Next, we have tag called HTML language en. We can specify any language here. If you know French, you can write French here. If you know Spanish, but you need to specify the browser that in this language I'm writing my code in this language. But since we are Indians, we know how to use English. So it's already written en, which means English. Okay. Then we have the head tag. What head tag is? This piece of code, whatever is written under the head tag, is not seen by the user, but it is important for the code. Okay, so anything which I write under this head section will not be seen by the user, but it is the requirement of the code or the browser to understand what all things we need, right? So whatever I will write in the head part, user will not be able to see, but it is important. We write few stuff here which is important for the code to run. We write JS scripts here, so the functionality part, so like 2 plus 2 is 4. This calculation is not need to be seen by the user. It's something which is need to be hidden from the user, but is necessary so that the user can get the output of 2 plus 2. So the calculation part can be done in the head file under the script tag. Okay, so the script tag we will learn in the future, but whatever things we write in the head, it is not for the user to see, but is important for the code to compile. Next, we have the body tag. So yes, body tag, obviously we know whatever we will write, it will be shown to the user on the screen. So let's go and first run our thing. So the extension which we downloaded, which was live server, now we are going to use it. So we will click on this go live thing, and you will see a new tab will get open, which will be of index.html. Okay, so suppose now I write, hi, my name is Akul. I've written here, and you will see automatically it got printed here. Hi, my name is Akul. If I write, I am currently working at Orient Consulting. So once the moment I click on Control S, it will render here. It will show that whatever I'm writing here, it is being shown here. But whatever I'm writing here, suppose I write h1 blah blah blah. If I change the name to my first HTML file. Okay, so you can see here, let me take you. So this title, I changed my title to my first HTML file just by the title tag. So I want this page, whenever this page renders for the user, it should have this particular title. So this particular title was rendered by this title tag. So I can write anything. I can write Akul Vashne here and it will be rendered here. You can see the title got changed to Akul Vashne. Similarly, whatever you will write in the title tag, it will be displayed over here. If I want to change this icon also, I can change this icon, but it is a advanced thing which we will learn in the future. But for now, we know what title tag does. Okay. Next thing, so this we wrote just as a body without any using tags. Okay, but if it is suggested, it is not like writing this is not a good habit. Like whatever I want, I just write it under the body tag. Instead, I should use headings. So there are 6 type of heading: h1, right? Then we have h2, then we have h3, then we have h4, then we have h5, then we have h6. Okay, so we have 6 types of heading. And if I write, so if I write something under between these tags, so heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, I'll just zoom it for you, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. Okay, so I've written these 6 headings. Now we will see how these h1 tag, h2 tag, h3 tag is behaving on the server. So as you can see, the font size is decreasing on every tag which I'm using. Head like h6 has the most smallest font and h1 has the most largest font. So this is how heading tags work. So we use them to define or to use in the cases of headings. So if I go to W3 Scoot. Okay, so if I click on here, so you see this is quite a bigger heading. This is a small heading. This is another heading. So these are different headings which emphasis on the importance of the thing you have written between those things. H1 tag was used here to get a spotlight that this section is for HTML. So that's why we have used the H1 heading, right? Similarly, this can be of P tag or this can be of heading 6. It could be I've written under the heading 6 tag. Okay. Next tag we will be using is P tag. Anything which you want, like this line could have been written between this P tag. What is P tag? It's basically a paragraph tag. Suppose whatever is written, so if I click on HTML, where is HTML? Okay, let's go and click on HTML. You can see this part. This can be written in the paragraph form because we want to tell the browser that yes, it's a paragraph, so you can adjust the CSS and any predefined code according to the paragraph part. So that's why anything which you want to write in multiple lines or many lines you want to display to the user, you will write under the P tag. You must have noticed that I am using a P tag at the front and one P tag at the end. Same for the heading, same for the body tag. It is one body here, one body at the end. You can call them as wrapper as well. So in what is a wrapper? Wrapper is basically a box that wraps anything. So this is the content, and I'm wrapping my this content in a starting, like it's my starting tag. And if I use this slash behind any tag, it will be considered as my closing tag, that this tag started from here and it ended here. So whatever properties I have fixed for this p tag, it will be applied from this content to this content, not to h1, not to h6, but whatever properties I have fixed for the p tag, it is my starting point, it is my ending point. Whatever properties I have used, it will be applied for this content only, not before this, not after this. Okay, so that's why we use a starting tag and we use an ending tag. Similarly, next tag which we can use, which we can learn is okay. So next tag we can use is anchor tag. Okay, what is anchor tag? Anchor tag is basically if you want to redirect a person from one page to another. Okay, so suppose if I click on go to HTML examples, basically it is an anchor tag. It is redirecting me to some another URL, right? If I want to redirect to this page from my website, how am I going to do that? I will use an anchor tag. Okay, I will use this word href. Href is again a property of anchor tag, without which the browser will not know why you are using this anchor tag. If I paste my uh, there here and I use VS School HTML page. Okay, so I've saved it, which means if you see this came here and it's something different from the above heading and padding, other headings and paragraph tags. It's underlined and it is in purplish color. These are the predefined properties of anchor tag, which browser knows that okay, if the person has used anchor tag, these property I have to use. So if I click on this, I will be redirected to some another, what you say, this page. Okay. Similarly, if I want to go to the google.com from my page only, from my page. So I'll create an anchor tag. I will paste this link under the href tag. I will write Google. Okay. Now you see, like when I was writing heading one after the other, right, one after the other, it was automatically taking on next line. But when I used two anchor line on two different lines, it came into one line only. Why? It's because of the properties which h1 p a holds. So h1 has a predefined property that yes, after my closing this, it automatically has a br tag inbuilt. What is a br tag? Basically it is used to break something, to break a line, right? If I want to break these two anchor tags into two lines, so I'll use a word, I will use a tag br. Okay, and you will see it has been breaked into two lines. Why? Because after the first line, after the first tag, I've used a key tag called br, that is the break line tag. So that's why now I can see the Google in the next line and the W3 school HTML page on the another line. So now if I click on Google, I will be redirected to the Google from my page. Why? Because I've used a anchor tag, and this signifies that yes, whenever a user will click on this Google, he will be redirected to this page. Okay. Now, if I want to, anyone, any question till now? Anyone? or is it good? Are we understanding everything?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so we understood what anchor tags are used for. We understood what a BR tag used for. Next tag we are going to learn is about image tag. Okay, so suppose I go here, I search for Apple logo. Okay, I'll go to the images. I'll select this logo. I'll copy. I'll copy the address. Okay, instead of, you can download it as well. I'll tell you how you can do that. But for the image part, next tag we have the image, right? So you noticed when I typed image, it came up with two tags, src and alternative, alt. src is basically asking you what is the source of the image which you want to show. So the source is this, like I want this image to be shown here. So whatever image I want to be shown on my website, I have to paste the link under the source tag. And why we got this second attribute alt, which is the full short form of alternative, sometimes happens like if by chance the link is broken. So first run this part and see what happens here. If I control save this, I don't see any picture here. Why? Let's copy some another address and paste it here. So do we get here? No, we don't get here. Okay, so let's download this image for a second. Save image as, I will save as a Apple logo. It got saved. I will copy it and paste it in my editor. Paste. Okay, so now I will try to access this image for using a forward slash. So basically a forward slash is used to see what all things or what all files I have under that particular directory. So since we have two elements, apple.png and index.png, which we can see on the left side as well under the HTML workshop, we have these two files. So if I click enter, it will bring the Apple image and it will be shown on the here. So now I can see my Apple logo is here. So I need to download that picture and then I can paste this. But you see that this image is quite big. It's the default width and height which is set by the browser. If I want to decrease it, I want to change the color, that part we will learn in the CSS part. But okay, so this is what image tag is used for. I was talking about alternative. Okay, so suppose the link is broken. Okay, so I have a image.apple.png, but I have just removed e from here. But I will write Apple logo and I will save it. You see, the image didn't print this time, but we see Apple logo written here. This is why this Apple logo here, because the image didn't rendered. So that's why, to tell the user, sometimes the due to deployment issue which I told you, sometimes the links get disabled or they are not accessible. So at that time, user gets to know that okay, this image was related to this part. If the image is renderable, then the alternative part won't be displayed. Now I can't see any Apple logo written anywhere around this because the image is now being visible on the browser. But if the image is broken or the browser is not able to access the image, then the alternative part comes in and the user gets to know okay, it was just Apple logo it is okay not to be loaded this time, but in future I would be needing it. Okay, so I'll use a br tag also here, so it comes below this. So we learned what image tag does. Now we will learn about the lists. Lists we have learned. First of all, let us know about what comments are. Okay, comments are basically something which is not visible to the user, which is who is working on, who is seeing the website on the browser, but for the developers like me to explain my code to the other developers, right? So if I've used image tag here, how can I tell another developer who will be working with me on this same piece of code that this is a image that it is a image of Apple? I can use this format. Okay, this is the greater than sign, then the exclamation, two dashes, and this is my opening comment, and this is my closing comment. Whatever I will write in between this. Okay, this is a Apple logo image. You can see here it is written under the body tag, and you can see here, but on the website you won't be able to see this line. If I search this as well, let's search it here. See, it shows 0 by 0. So no, nothing in this page written here can find this things. Okay, now you can see it is written here. This is an Apple logo image. So comments are used for the developers so that another developer can know what piece of code you have written. It's just a simple English language, so you can explain your code below, whatever you have written below this, or whatever you want to write in English, you can write here, which is not be compiled by the browser, and which will be not be seen by the user who's is seeing the code. Okay, so I'll write
Sir,
few comments here. Yeah, hello.
uh, sir, I have a doubt.
Sure, please.
सर आपने जो अभी एप्पल लोगो दिखाया था और उसमें आपने जो बोला था कि वो जो साइज हम कम ज्यादा होता है वो हम दूसरे उससे करेंगे, लेकिन सर एचटीएमएल में शायद पिक्सल का भी वो होता है, उसमें पिक्सल भी एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं, तो उसमें भी सर साइज की तो होगा चेंज।
राइट, तो वैसे हम यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं. इफ आई राइट width here and if I write height here and if I write 100, okay, you will see the image has been shrunk to 100 pixel, right? Because I have written height is equal to 100. But when you will be creating real life projects, it is not advisable to do anything related to the uh, coloring or anything related to CSS part on the HTML pages. HTML does provide us these features, these small features of height, width, anything, but it is not advisable for the real life application to use directly the CSS part in the HTML pages. Okay, we have technology called CSS, so we will do the height, width, the alignment, colors, everything we will be doing. But we have a technology for that, CSS. We will be doing in that instead of writing the exact figure in the HTML. Why we do this? Because this website can be accessible through browser on a laptop or on a mobile screen as well. If I define that the height should be 100 pixel, for my laptop it can be of this big, but for my mobile this 100 pixel is too much. Okay, on my mobile screen again I will be seeing it as a big image. See, it's still occupying the 20% of my width, right? But here it is not even consisting 10% of my width. That's why it is advisable not to use any CSS part directly on the HTML. We will be using these things, but when we will be learning the CSS part, Then we will be learning the height, width, colors, ratio, everything over there. Okay. So coming to the next topic, which was the lists. So first we will be learning about ordered lists. Then we will be coming to the unordered list. So for the ordered list, we use OL. See how my closing tag came automatically. Then under this, we will be using a LI. OL specifies that yes, it will be ordered list. The user will be seeing. So let me show you one thing only. User one. Okay. So now let me just comment this image. I'll give a height of 100 for now. So you see, I automatically got one. I didn't write one over here. I just tried, let me remove the one as well. Where did this one came from? It came from ordered list. So in ordered list, the browser knows that if I'm reading ordered list, that means I have to print whatever under between these OL tags. I will be have to make it into points starting from one and ending to how many list item you have provided. Then next we have user 4. Then another we have li of
Excuse me, sir.
user 9. Yeah,
My
yes, please.
HTML document isn't loading in real time, so I have to start and stop it every single time.
No,
How
that's
do
why
I?
I told you to install live server. Did you install live server?
Yes, I did.
Can you see your thing here, port dot dot 5500?
Yes.
Okay. One thing which you can do is, uh, you see this thing, gear settings option over here.
Right.
Click on this. Uh, go to the settings part. Okay. Type save. Can you see this format on save?
Yeah.
So you will click save over here. You will scroll down a bit and you will click on this. This option should be enabled in your devices so that you can, so whenever you save your file, it will be auto rendered on the browser as well. So
Okay.
try
Thank you,
doing
sir.
this. If you still face any issue, we will connect after this session then. Like we have a practice session also at the end, so we can solve your problems there. Okay. So I was talking about the ordered lists. So now we know what ordered lists are. So accordingly, it has shown me the ordered list over there. Then comes the unordered lists. Okay, so what are unordered lists? These are the bullet points. So if I use UL, I'll use LI same list item. LI stands for list item, UL stands for unordered list, OL stands for ordered list. And in this, I will write summer, then again spring, then again autumn. And if I click on Control S, you will see I'm getting these in points, but in bullet point this time because it is an unordered list. I can make nested list as well. Instead of writing summer, I can add one more UL under this. I can initiate another UL, which will consist of uh, what we can write winter. Okay, so here you can see I'm getting 2 points. So before this, if I write p tag and I can use so You can see how things are working. Like we have a one list, and inside that list we have another list. So this is called nested lists. Nested lists. So similarly, we can create list under list under list under list, and with this we can create that. So we see how nested lists works. Next comes the table part. Okay, so we will be understanding how tables look like.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, when you run this call, why is winter coming in front,
sorry.
like an event? Sir, when you run this call, why there is a space with the, before winter?
Before winter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we have started another UL, and if I show you how why we have, so we'll inspect this element and we'll pick this thing. You can see the arrow above this.
Yes, sir.
We will click on this, we will hover over it. So we'll see that this p tag, you see this p tag, let just a
Yes, sir.
second. This p tag has a margin of 1 em. So if I remove margin from here, margin 0, so you see the gap has been removed. So few properties which p tag holds is in case of margin, the colors, the things that we will need to handle them accordingly to our requirement. So suppose you didn't wanted that space, so I had to remove the margin from the p tag, which is a pre-built option. Like if I'm using a p tag, it will come with a margin of 1 rem of on the top and on the bottom. Okay, so to remove that predefined code, we will need to set our own code, and this is margin which we will set in these CSS classes which we will learn. So from there we will learn how we can override the predefined classes. Like if a browser has already written that I will be keeping 1 rem margin top and bottom of my p tag, how we can override that piece of code and set our margin to it. Okay, so that's the property of p tag, that it holds a certain margin on top and on the bottom. That's why we are seeing the that's why we are seeing the space above the winter, because we have used a p tag on the weather thing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So while making a nested list in, for example, in this unordered list,
Hmm.
while making the nested one, can we put ordered list tag too?
Sure, sure. Anything you can do. If I change it to UOL, and if I write li and spring again, see, it has been turned into 1 and 2. So under ordered list, you can use ordered list. Under ordered list, you can use again unordered list, and you can do it couples of time. You can
Okay.
do it n number of time by using any list you want. Anything else from anything?
Oh, sir.
Or
सर
shall
मेरा
we?
मैं जब ट्राई कर रहा हूँ तो कोड रन नहीं हो रहे.
Code run nahi ho rahe. Okay, we will do this. Like you try to understand this, then in the practice session I would like you to share your screen, and then we will solve that problem. Okay.
ओके सर. ओके सर.
Okay, okay. Anything related to this understanding part, if you want to ask, please ask now. Okay, so let's move to our table thing. How we create tables. So you see how your timetable is well structured into columns and rows, everything. That happens because of the table. That's basically a table is used for in the HTML language, or in any language. In the Excels also, in the doc format, we use table to make our timetable. Similarly, we are going to create a timetable here by using table tags. So table is the main heading, the wrapper, like now the browser knows that yes, I have to create a table. Whatever is written between this tag, I have to show them in a table format. Then I have a heading called TR. What is a TR? TR stands for table row. So in HTML, the table works in row format. Whatever we are typing, whatever we are giving the code to compile, we will give them in the row format, not in the column format. Like if I have a column of names, and so we won't be writing name, the names, then Akul, and anything. We will be going row wise. So if I want to type the heading, I will write serial number. TH is used for the table heading, the columns, what our column names will be. Next we have the name. Next we have the age. Next we will writing the gender. Next we will specifying the address. So these 5 are my headings. Again, this was been shown in the, so here you can see all my headings are shown with a bold text, not just a normal text. But since I've used th tag, it has a predefined property that whatever written between this, it will transform it to the bold headings. So we have serial number here, we got name, we got age, we got gender, we got address. Next row, what we want. So next row, it can be td 1. So my serial number is 1. My name is Akul. Next is age. My age is 23. Then TD, my gender, it's male. Then address is Noida. Similarly, I can see another row has been added beneath all those things under the headings part, and we can see a table is being now created. Okay, same thing, another row. If I want to add, I can similarly copy paste and paste and paste and paste. Similarly, what n number of rows I can add beneath them, and it will be rendered in a tabular format. Similarly, if I write my serial number, then I'll write period 1, period 2, period 3, and then period 4. It can be of my days. So my first day is Monday. I have a first lesson of first class is history class. Second class I have of maths. Third is of English. Fourth is of Hindi. So you can see my timetable, a small timetable has been created. Like these are my days. These are my periods. So my first period is of history, second is of math, third is of English, fourth period is of Hindi. Similarly, your timetable can be created using the table tag.
सर अगर हमें
Anything?
टैब नंबर ऑफ टाइम यूज करना तो हमें टेबल टैब के आगे नंबर भी मेंशन करना पड़ेगा?
Sorry.
तो जैसे टेबल टैब जो है वो हमने एक बार यहाँ यूज कर लिया पीरियड्स के
Hmm.
लिए, अगर हमें सेकेंड बार यूज करना तो हमें टेबल उसके आगे कोई नंबर स्पेसिफाई करना पड़ेगा या ऐसे स्टार्ट कर दे?
नहीं, आपने अभी क्या सीखा कि एक टेबल टैग है। टेबल मतलब ब्राउजर को पता चल गया कि मेरे को एक टेबल बनानी है, ठीक है।
यस सर।
टीआर से पता चला, पहले टीआर से फर्स्ट टीआर टैग विल स्पेसिफाई कि ये पहली रो है। पहली रो में हमने बोला कि भैया पहली रो है तो सबसे ऊपर हमारी हेडिंग्स होती हैं, तो हमने टीएच टैग यूज करा जिससे वो बोल्ड हो जाए, जो हमारा जो भी टेक्स्ट होगा लिखा हुआ वो बोल्ड हो जाएगा। तो
ओके
जो
सर।
भी हमारा टीएच टैग में लिखा होगा वो हमारा रो 1 का कॉलम 1 हो गया ये हमारा, ठीक है। रो 1 कॉलम 1। फिर हमारा जो पहला टैग का हमारा दूसरा th है, इसका हो गया रो 1 कॉलम 2। एक्सेल में अगर आपको खोल के दिखाऊं तो स्प्रेडशीट है, हमने एक ब्लैंक ओपन करी। we see we have written this a 1 2 3 4 abcd। तो इसका एड्रेस क्या हुआ, रो 1 कॉलम ए।
मैं इसको म्यूट कर देता हूँ।
इसलिए हम इसको a1 कहते हैं। सिमिलरली रो 1, क्योंकि हमारा पहला tr टैग है टेबल के अंदर, रो 1 कॉलम 1, रो 1 कॉलम 2 दूसरा th टैग, रो 1
ओके
कॉलम 3। सिमिलरली तो ये एक रो हो गई, दूसरी रो के लिए हमें दूसरा tr। टेबल हमें बार बार नहीं लिखना, एक टेबल में मल्टीपल रोज होती हैं, तो हमें tr टैग बार बार लिखना पड़ेगा टू डिफाइन ये अब हमारी नई रो शुरू हो चुकी है।
ओके सर।
Okay, so this is what table tag and table working look like. Then we comes up to the form. अब जैसे हमने खोला facebook.com, ठीक है, is now we get to see a little form over here which is asking our email id and it is asking our password. So it is a basic form। हम अपना डेली डे टू डे लाइफ में फॉर्म्स भरते हैं ना, कि ये हमारा नाम है, ये हमारा पासवर्ड है, ये हमारी क्लास है, हम यहाँ रहते हैं, हम वो करते हैं। तो बेसिकली एक फॉर्म होता है। सिमिलरली फेसबुक और द साइन अप पेज, द लॉगिन पेज, योर रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म कंसिस्ट of all these input tags where the user is accessible or is unable to type anything which the website is asking them to type. So whatever this input tags, or wherever we are writing this input tag, it is advised to wrap it under the form tag. So if I open a form tag and I'll write input, what type of input? So there are multiple type of input. For now I'm writing just input. So the moment I type is equal to, it shows me that the input can have these number of types. So for now I'm using just selecting text, like if I want to user to just to write his name. Placeholder, what does placeholder stands for? So just a minute, just understand it one by one. So if I have written input is equal to text type, now I'll go to my page. It has rendered a rectangular box, and if I click on it, I'm allowed to type anything I want. Okay, so how it came? It came because of my input tag. Okay, now when I came here, how the user knows that what I have to type here? Like in Facebook, I've seen like here it is written email address, but if I type any email address, my label has gone, right? So how the user will go that I have to type what I have to type here? So in that case, we will use placeholder. Enter your name. This is used when nothing is written on, nothing is typed by the user yet, but to give a signal to the user that what he needs to type here. So I know now what I have to type here. I have to type my name. So my name is Akuvashne. I've written here. Similarly, I will type another input, which will be of type email, and my placeholder will be enter your email. Okay, now again it is coming in one line only. We will use br tag to have some space between them. So you can use n number of br line. One br tag is equal to one break line. So similarly, if I use a br tag after this, now let me use one more. Now you can see I have quite a space between my name and email ID input tag. So I know what I have to type here. I have to type Akul Vashne here and my email akulv.work@gmail.com. Okay, so I know what I need to type here. Why are we specifying the type? We are specifying the type because when these information will be sent to the backend for the functioning part. The backend should know that yes, this part consists of text and this is just the name is the email, so it should have a correct format. Like email has a correct format of some text, then at the rate, then gmail.com. So it is a perfect, it is the syntax of email should have. So this type email will be checking the syntax before sending it to the backend. So this type will first check whether the content which the user has written specifies or matches with the type of the input tag or not. Next, input tag, we will be discussing it about the radio button, right? So it can be of
Sir, you are on mute.
So you are not audible.
okay. You guys are muting me, right? No worries. I've done that to my teachers as well when we were like in our online classes. So I know these stuff. Okay. So just try to interact, just try to learn these things. It is a very interesting line if you are interested in this. If you're not interested in this, then please don't do such stuff or just keep. Okay, so next, which we were talking about the type password thing. So we got to know what how passwords are functioning. Like when we use type password, we get to see these dots. Then we have another BR tag. Then we will understand what radio is used for. So it has a name, uh, class.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second.
Actually, Akul, I think network के कारण you logged out for a minute.
Okay. Just a minute. Let me come back to my screen. I'll just reshare my screen. Is my screen visible now? I
Yes.
hope it is. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Great. So now what would like? Okay. So we were discussing about the type radio now. So I've given a name to it, class. I will let you know why we did that. So now it has a value of uh, class ninth. Okay. And we will use a tag called label. Label is used, see, input tag is used just for the user to type anything or to click on anything. But what this radio button consists of, like why the user is why will the user click on this? It will be specified with the label tag. So here I will write class 9th. So now if I come here, I see that this radio button will signify that yes, if I click on this, I am selecting that yes, I am in class 9. So if I write a p tag and I'll specify select your class. Okay, and I'll use multiple here. Next we have class 10th, then we have 11th. Remember one thing, whatever you are typing under the label part, right, should be the value, should be written same exactly in the value part, because the user is seeing that yes, this input is for class 11th. Okay, because he is able to see the label part, but the browser doesn't know what is the label for this. ओके, तो यूज़र को तो दिख रहा है कि इस पे क्लिक करूंगा तो मैंने क्लास 11 सेलेक्ट कर लिया है, बट जो वैल्यू इस पे लिखी होगी, अब सपोज अगर इस पे मैंने 10th लिख दी वैल्यू, अब मैं इस पे क्लिक करूंगा तो अब अगर ये बैकएंड पे गया डेटा तो इसकी वैल्यू जो है वो 10 जाएगी, ना कि 11, क्योंकि इनपुट की वैल्यू क्या है, इनपुट की वैल्यू अभी हमने डिफाइन कर दी है 10, ना कि 11. सो वी नीड टू कीप दैट इन माइंड कि जो भी आप इनपुट के लेबल में लिखे वो उस इनपुट की वैल्यू भी होनी चाहिए, वरना कहीं मिसमैच होगा, कहीं आपका डेटा गलत चला जाएगा बैकएंड के पास और वो ढंग से प्रोसेस नहीं होगा. सो वी हैव लर्नड अबाउट द radio tag as well. Okay, then we have learned about the password, how passwords are written, how when I am writing a password here, why it is converting it to this. We have learned this. We have learned how my Gmail, how the user gets to know what I have to type in the input field, whether it's a cool, we just have to write my name or I have to write my email address. It's all been controlled under the form section. So this is a complete form in which all my input tags comes, and it helps the user to input the field so that the backend can process this information and store it in the database. Okay, so this was all about HTML. Like we have, like this is the basic of HTML. With this much basic, you will be able to create at least the structuring part of all the websites you can do. So anything, any confusion, anything which you want to ask till now, you have the like opportunity to ask right away. Any query?
रेडियो वाले टाइप में करा है, उसके बाद हमने नेक्स्ट में एक BR वाला भी लगाया है, वो क्यों है सर?
BR टैग हमने लगाया है so that since अभी हम लोग CSS यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, so to get some space between the two inputs, right? So you can see we have one input as enter your email, and then we have another input as password. We have a little white space between them. If I remove these BR tags, ये आप देखोगे एकदम चिपक गए, एक लाइन में आ गए. हमें बट
Yes, sir.
अलग अलग लाइन में चाहिए, ऐसे जैसे ही फेसबुक ने कर रखा है अलग अलग लाइन में. That's why we use a BR tag. BR tag is used to break a line. अब इसने क्या हुआ, यहाँ पे ये इनपुट वाली फील्ड है ही, एक BR टैग लगा हुआ था, तो इसने यहाँ से लाइन ब्रेक करके जो भी इसके बाद का कंटेंट है वो उसने अगले लाइन पे भेज दिया. सिमिलरली अगर हम एक और BR टैग लगा देंगे तो एक और लाइन टूट जाएगी वहीं से, और जो भी इसके बाद का कंटेंट होगा वो नेक्स्ट लाइन पे शिफ्ट हो जाएगा. सो दैट वी गेट सम क्लैरिटी कि हाँ, दो इनपुट के बीच में थोड़ा सा स्पेस है, टू
Okay,
मेक
sir.
इट मोर यूजर फ्रेंडली एंड मोर यूजर इंटरेक्टिव. बाकी चिपका हुआ काफ़ी अजीब सा लगता कि चिपक रहे हैं ये दोनों इनपुट्स फील्ड एक दूसरे से. टू गेट दैट थिंग we use the break line tag, which is the BR tag, so that we get some line and it's become more user interactive and new. Okay, so anything else, anything related to HTML, any tags which you want to learn more, which you have
Sir,
studied
can you
or...
repeat like for that password one how it is converted to the bullets
Yeah, so how it converted
to the
since... Okay, so input has another set predefined functions. ठीक है, इनपुट के पास बहुत सारे एक पर्टिकुलर एक कोड लिखा हुआ है कि जब भी आप इनपुट यूज़र लोगे या आप जब भी इनपुट लिखोगे अपने कोड एडिटर में, वो डिफरेंट टाइप्स के हो सकते हैं. नॉर्मल टेक्स्ट होगा तो आप टाइप लिखोगे टेक्स्ट, आप कुछ भी लिख सकते हो, इसमें कोई इशू नहीं है. आपका टाइप होगा ईमेल, ठीक है, आप ये टाइप ही
Sir, you are not audible.
Okay, now I'm audible.
Yes, but your screen
Yes,
is
sir.
not presenting.
Just a minute. Okay, now is it visible?
Yes, sir.
ओके, सो टाइप में हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि टाइप क्या है. तो जैसे ही हमने इसका टाइप पे, जैसे ही हम अब ये एक फंक्शनैलिटी है VS कोड की कि जब भी हमने टाइप इज इक्वल टू डाला, हमारे पास मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस आ गए ड्रॉप डाउन में, राइट. तो हमने उसमें से सेलेक्ट करा पासवर्ड. अब पासवर्ड में वी नो कि अब पासवर्ड का एक प्री डिफाइंड फंक्शन लिखा हुआ है कि जब भी यूज़र इनपुट करेगा पासवर्ड की फील्ड में, वो हमारा ऐसा ही दिखना चाहिए, हमारे में बुलेट पॉइंट्स ही होने चाहिए. क्यों? क्योंकि पासवर्ड एक क्रिटिकल इन्फॉर्मेशन है जो हम चाहेंगे कि आसपास के यूज़र्स ना देखें. इसलिए हमने जो एक प्री डिफाइंड कोड है पासवर्ड का, अगर हम टाइप पासवर्ड लिखेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो ये वाली फंक्शनैलिटी जो हमारे कैरेक्टर्स हैं उन्हें बुलेट पॉइंट्स में कन्वर्ट करने की फंक्शनैलिटी वो ऑटोमेटिकली अनेबल कर देगा. दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव यूज्ड पासवर्ड. अगर हमें डेट इनपुट करानी होती तो हम टाइप कर देते उसका डेट, राइट. अब मेरे पास एक और फील्ड आ गई डेट की ऑटोमेटिकली. एक ऑटोमेटिकली मेरे पास कैलेंडर का भी ऑप्शन आ गया. क्यों? क्योंकि ऑलरेडी लिखा हुआ है, प्री डिफाइंड कोड है वो, जो ब्राउज़र में स्टोर होता है कि जैसे ही उसका टाइप डेट आएगा मेरे को ये रेंडर करना है. दिस नोज द ब्राउज़र इज़ केपेबल ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस मच कि अगर मैंने इनपुट टाइप डेट लिखा है, अगर वो ये कंपाइल हो रहा है तो मेरे को क्या कंपाइल करना है, क्या मेरे को डिस्प्ले कराना है यूज़र को. इसलिए पासवर्ड में हमारे पास ये आ जाता है, डेट में हमारे पास ऑटोमेटिकली कैलेंडर खुल के आ जाता है. So these are the predefined functions written in the browser, and while compiling the complete code, ब्राउज़र को पता चल जाता है कि हाँ अब चलो इनपुट टैग अगर मेरा ईमेल है तो मेरे को इससे ईमेल ही इनपुट लेना है. अगर मेरा टेबल मैंने अगर रीड कर रहा हूँ, अगर ब्राउज़र जो है वो टेबल रीड कर रहा है तो ही नोज़ कि अब मेरे को एक टेबल फॉर्मेट में कुछ बनाना है, और वो टेबल फॉर्मेट में जो भी इसके अंदर होगा वो टेबल फॉर्मेट में बनेगा. तो दीज ऑल आर प्री डिफाइंड कोड. हमें बस इसे यूज़ करना है अपने कोड में कि हमें इनपुट टैग लिखा, हमने उसका टाइप पासवर्ड करा तो अब वो बुलेट पॉइंट्स में आएगा जो भी वो लिखेगा. डेट लिखा तो डेट में वैसे आएगा. सो इट्स ऑल प्री रिटन, बस हमें एग्जीक्यूट करवाने हैं वो फाइल.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Okay,
how can we add animations in our website?
same. It is a functionality of CSS, so that we will learn in the CSS thing. Understand this once again. HTML is just the part of where things are located. आप अपने लिविंग रूम में घुस रहे हो, आपका सोफा इधर है, आपका टीवी उधर है, आपका सीनरी इधर है, बट किस कलर का है, कैसा दिखेगा, क्या होगा, वो सब पार्ट CSS और जावास्क्रिप्ट का पार्ट है.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
तो एनिमेशंस वगैरह भी हम थोड़ी बहुत सीखेंगे CSS वाले उसमें, बट टिल नाउ HTML का आपको मैंने बेसिक एक ओवरलाइन आउटलाइन सारे टैग्स जो भी मेनली यूज होते हैं वो आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड यू. इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग इन दिस, एनीथिंग एल्स, एनी क्वेश्चन एल्स?
No, sir.
ओके.
सर
या
सर आपने जो कोड अभी हमारे सामने से लिखे थे वो एक बार आप व्हाट्सएप पे सेंड कर सकते हो ताकि हम एक बार रीचेक कर सके कि हमने क्या
श्योर
करा.
श्योर श्योर, ये मैं एक आपको डॉक्यूमेंट में फॉर्मेट करके मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप के थ्रू, अरुण सर आपको व्हाट्सएप पे फ्लोर करवा देंगे.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू सो मच.
Okay. So, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, so this was the overview of today's workshop session. One small homework which I would like you all to complete before coming to the next class is you all must have be having your timetables, right?
Yes.
Just
Yes.
prepare your timetable in the HTML format using tables and anything, and explain yourself your hobbies in the bullet form, in the bullet points below your table. Okay,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
so try to complete this activity and we will evaluate each one of your activity in the next session.
Okay, sir.
So anything else you want to ask apart from this?
So when this next class?
That will be circulated to you like in the next week only. We will circulate to you in your WhatsApp group only. It will be happening on next week. So Arun sir will help you with that. But
Sure, Akul, unless there is a change, I was advised for 11. Does that work with you?
yeah, sure. 11th was the advised date, right? So next class is on 11th of June. So
So
I
just to
will,
give them a sense on the schedule, today was the first class, today is 7th. 11th is your next class. Would the time remain the same?
right, yes. So the time will be the same unless
So
anything comes up.
you see the work coming, all the updates coming to Akul.
Right.
So 7th, 11th, 20th, 21st, 28th. These are your
Right.
mentoring sessions.
Right.
What I understood from Akul is 11th or next session, he's going to give you a homework and you will have around a week, a little over a week to practice.
Right. Okay.
Is that fine with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
और कुछ
Yes, sir.
कोई कुछ कहना चाहेगा? If we are done,
will we get a recording?
will we get a recording? Yes, I've recorded the session. I'll share the recording. But from the next session onwards, I'll not record it.
Yeah,
Right?
and we will advise you to bring your laptops as well. So please, everyone, stay on the laptop and do simultaneously what I'm teaching you, so that you get, if anything you are stuck in between, you can ask me immediately. Like few students were asking me. So if anything you get stuck in between, you can ask immediately. Like, sir, I'm stuck in here. This is not happening, and this I didn't understood. Instead of watching the recording session again and again throughout the week. So start to live in the present instead of seeing the recordings again and again.
Absolutely with you, Akul. Thank you so much, Akul. Thank you so much for all your time. See you all on 11th. Take care. Bye-bye. The link, everything remains the same. I'll ping again in the group. Thanks a ton, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Okay, sir.
everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.